good, all good, all good. Wait, test. Yeah, all good. Okay, another day, another stream. Today I figured we'd watch some videos as per usual and then continue with Bloodborne. I left it off last week after beating Bloodstarved Beast. And I believe we're up to Old Yarnum or something. But for now, let's watch some videos. Let me just switch the window here. Epic transition. Now. So I've been watching this channel for a while, Grand Illusions. It's about a toy collector of sorts who likes to show off his old toys. Actually great content if you're into that. I find it really therapeutic. And the host is very charming. I mean, he has 1.44 mil subscribers, so he's not exactly like a small-time YouTuber or anything, but still great content. I highly suggest you guys sub to him. We'll watch a couple of his videos, and I got some videos up here as well. And once we're done with that, we'll start playing Bloodborne. Let's see, popular uploads. Apple Balloons. Tim Whistles. Let's watch this one.
These are apple balloons, a lovely idea from America. They sell them as bee and bird bodies, but I call them apples. You blow up a balloon a very small amount, no more than this, and then you've got to tie up the end.
Please turn off the music.
Then what you've got to do is you've got to push this end here right through to the
yeah,
far
Pog
side,
is
right through the centre of the balloon.
universal emote.
It's going to go through the middle of the balloon all the way up to the top end. And then when it's in the top end, you push it a little way into that green stem, which is a thicker bit of rubber, and withdraw. So it's now going all the way through. Lots and lots of winding up, because you've got to get it nice and frictional, so it's going to hold when you release it. And then push this in long way like that. Then you end up with an apple. What a lovely idea.
Nice.
Good enough for Eve, isn't it? Let's have a bite. Oh.
You see what I mean by charming? He's really charming. Let's open some snackies. Don't mind the noise.
Here's a very handsome snake. It's part of my toy collection.
Oh, I forgot to look
snakes.
into how to disable ads on. Not
It's
disable.
got a lovely head.
Re-enable
This
ads
rather
on.
odd-looking body
Opera.
just made of light plastic, I think it is.
Oh, well.
But what on earth is this thing here? A little wind-up mechanism and feet. Well, I've come across snakes that slither on the ground, and of course that wonderful desert snake, the sidewinder, which goes
I want to make as
sideways.
much progress
But
as
feet?
possible today on Bloodborne.
What do you think the action is? Well, I'll put it on the table and see what happens, shall we? This is a strange snake.
Might be a long stream.
Oh my goodness, it hops. That is totally bizarre. And a long running motor too. So when they eventually discover a hopping snake, it'll create a huge interest in the world of zoology. But I'm sure they don't.
Sorry, is the video too loud?
Great idea. So this is about 30 years old, and it came from this company, I suppose, probably in the Far East. They're calling it so Flying at Snake, strange grammar. And they invite you to get the rest of the collection, which is Wandering Skeleton and Mad Cannibal. I think they're probably just the same thing with heads, and then the rest of it is a funny body and a little wind-up mechanism to make it hop, hop, hop. But this is certainly one of the weirdest things I've ever come across as a snake toy. That is totally wacky. Yeah. The people who are very much involved with snakes, certainly as toys and the craft ones, are the Indians. And from India came this one, which I got back in 1979. Although there's not much of it left now,
super
because the
interesting to me
original
watching,
actually was made of bamboo.
old
and it
toys
had a
and,
rather handsome,
collections and whatnot.
this is my attempt to make a copy of what they had on the front.
Even though
The
most
idea
people
is
probably
that
find
it
this like
reaches out
stupid
towards you. It's
and
one of
boring.
those lazy tongue action things. This is what I've added to over the years. So now it reaches about 4 meters across the room. Huge long thing. Goes right off the screen there. Woof. I think it ought to be
You like
accompanied by a
stuff as
hissing
well?
noise or
Like
noise
action
or something,
figures?
because it's really quite frightening actually. When you do it at kids sitting there not expecting something to come straight at them, it really is quite something. So it's been a lot of fun. The original was only about that long, I think it was. It's quite short, but I've added and added and added, and now I'm even using a bit of carbon fibre here to make it go really a very long way. So that's been a lot of fun over the years. It doesn't look like a snake very much, apart from the head, but the action of reaching out suddenly was very, very successful. The best and most snake-like one I've ever come across is this one here, which I picked up in '79, and I think it's supposed to be from South America originally. It's a wood which is called, well, a friend of mine called this wobbly wood. When I shake it like this, look at the action. I think they have two pieces of wood, like the two halves of the snake going down the middle of the body, and they join them when it's a solid piece of wood with some sort of cloth, I think it is, or plastic in the centre. And then they take a series of cut to make it flex so far and not any further. It only does a few degrees of movement. But the effect is just fabulous. That's such a realistic snake and nice functions as well. And since then I've noticed a lot of other animals. For instance, I've had a fish toy in my collection for some time now. But I've had an artist friend I've known for many years, Jeff Sohan, who makes all the most wonderful things out of this strange technology, including giant animals, you know, several £100 they cost. He calls them all wobbly wood, which I suppose is right, it does wobble, but it's so realistic because that's exactly what happens to a fish bone or snake bone. It will flex a certain distance and then it won't go any further to resist any further change. So that's the granddaddy of all the snake toys. I think it's a very, very fine invention.
Back in the day, you had to play with wood.
I was looking through my collection to see if I could come across any ballpoint pens, which are always made of different shapes. This is the nearest I came across.
Highly engineered wood.
It's a little bit snake-like. It's not that good, to be honest. But the idea is you push it out and then a little, well, it's a ballpoint pen coming out of there and it retracts. I'm not so sure about the snake because those look vaguely like bits of feet there, which suggests it's more like a crocodile, but it's got too long a body. So I'm going to say that's a snake ballpoint pen. What do you think?
I didn't even have a phone up until...
The most remarkable of the craft toy ones I've ever come across is this one here, a most unpretentious looking piece of cardboard strips. It does the most wonderful action. Well, this is not cardboard, this is a bit of plaster, I think, for the eyes.
These days be
so look at the action on this. When I pull this back, this central bit here, it seems to arch its back as if it's about to do a strike. When I push it forward, my goodness me, tongue comes out. Wonderful, wonderful action. Back it goes, and then forward it goes to make a strike. Very simple bit of cardboard engineering, but a fantastic effect, and a big surprise when it comes out at you. Fantastic. Haven't yet found from my records who made that wonderful piece. Well, congratulations to them. There's quite a number of these nut things I've got in my collection, mostly small ones with wiggly creatures, all cantilevered. But this one, since we're on to snakes, Snakes Alive, it's got a snake in it.
Oh.
And this is a little cantilever here. There's a heavy weight at the back of the snake, and it pops up and down when it's pressed.
But see, I find toys like that really endearing.
And I like the snake's body that appears there amongst the green, which is good. So a nice one, that. They lend themselves to practical joke snakes, don't they? So there's two here which I've had for many years. In fact, this is probably the oldest of all my snake toys. This goes back originally to about the 1890s, I guess.
Oh,
it's the old something in a tin business. So this is a nice misdirection
as well.
It says nuts, and it sounds like nuts. It's a secret compartment. Because when you open the thing, expecting nuts, what you get is, oh my goodness me, yes, one of those.
Isn't he charming?
Back in Victorian times to make it look a bit more snake-like, but a spring coming out of a can, very old idea, great fun. And another one which has been out for many years, and in fact we've just recently got some for our Christmas packs, is the old again, a practical joke.
When I'm having a bad day or a bad moment,
inside here,
I just tune into this channel and just watching
rattlesnake eggs.
There's something really calming about his presentation.
So they're small eggs, so they're going to be, so I better open it with a bit of care, just in case something is going to happen. Oh, my goodness me. Oh dear, yes, it's one of those. You wind it up about 30 times. When someone opens it inadvertently, a horrible rattling sound which gives them a fright because they're expecting something a bit dangerous inside. Two very nice practical jokes there. This is a very old toy. I've seen these going back, 40, 50 years, made of some sort of alabaster thing. A very simple little mechanism. This is supposed to be a frog, and when you pull the lid back, the snake comes out. Well, the snake's been played by the kids for 30 years, so you can see he's lost his tongue. I must put a little bit of blue in there to make it look like a tongue. But a very simple little mechanism here just to make it pop up, and he's now going to try and eat the frog because there's a snake coming out of the ground. That's very nicely done, and a craft toy from, I think, the Middle East originally. a much more recent toy with this one here, which is the old air bulb. It's a nice one, this, because the air bulb actually looks like the snake's body, all
it looks like a
curled
pip
up.
coil.
You need to put your finger around the bottom to stop the air from escaping, and then squeeze it. And yep, well, his tongue comes out, one of the old rubber tongue business, or put it on the table and squeeze it hard. Yes, that's not bad, actually. Again, I feel that it should make a noise as it comes out, but it hasn't, but never mind. Here's a very strange thing which came out of, I think, the southern states of America. Or
well, when you're
South
working with
America,
limited resources, you
was,
got to get creative.
It was a snake.
Make toys
Well,
that are
it's a
simple
very
but
elegant
fun.
looking thing. You've got sunglasses
I think it's
on.
really endearing.
It's made of rather nice material, but it's got lots and lots of coils of, it's almost invisible nylon threads, I think, which is holding the whole body together. But what's it for? What's all this business around? It turns out that this is actually a T-shirt. Beautifully disguised, so of course I couldn't undo it.
Creativity.
I'd have one which is done and one's
More
not done.
creative
So
than
this
this
is what
entire
it
stream.
looks like. And just to show you, it is a full-size adult T-shirt. There's the front of the T-shirt with the arms and the neck, and the head comes through there.
Not a good looking
But I haven't
T-shirt.
done the last bit of the body, which is right at the tail, which is the head
Keep it
of
a
the
snake.
second snake. What an extraordinary idea. So when they make these from a white T-shirt, they have to roll it up to start with. Then they do all these lovely dyes and colours and so on. And finally, they twist it, and then they put round this very, very tight band
Wait,
of
so they
almost
dye it after they
invisibly
roll
small
it? No, it makes more
nylon
sense.
string to hold it all together. And you get this snake suddenly appearing as a T-shirt. Extraordinary idea. I love it.
It's a creative souvenir.
The Japanese have come up with a very strange idea for a snake toy. I don't know whether this is a wrestling match or a boxing match, whatever it is, but what a bizarre idea. There's 4 snakes around, they're all made of metal. This is the key to the thing. There's a motor and a battery inside there, and this is magnetized. That's the clever bit. That's magnetic. So if I take the snakes off for a minute, you'll see that as I hold it up, it won't come off because there's a magnet holding that snake together. It's holding on. So very strange. Now let's try 2 of them just as a start. We'll try the green snake and the red snake. We'll have them battling. There's a simple little mechanism here to turn it on. You just do that. And wow, look at that.
Whoa.
Quite random. The idea is when one of them's kicked out, he loses the match, and the winner is
Wait,
the
how
one
does
who's
that
still
work?
in there at the
Is it
end.
just like a spinning magnet?
I find it sometimes stabilises a bit too much with just 2, so let's put in a couple more. There's a blue snake from the blue corner, and a yellow snake from the yellow corner. And let's see what that does now. Now, we've got a whole bunch of snakes here. Turn it
I'm
on.
guessing yellow's going to go flying.
Oh my goodness, oh my
Just on
goodness,
top.
look at that. Oh look, the red's been
no,
kicked out,
no,
he's lost. He's the first out of the ring. Oh, I think the yellow's gone as well. Yep, the yellow's gone as well. So the last 2 can go on for minutes and minutes and minutes, and I think I'll leave them to it, but that's the idea. I think the point is there's a very slight nip up at the corner of the ring, and that stops them from
Very
leaving
nice.
the ring too early.
Snackies.
That's an extraordinary idea, isn't it? A snake match.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry about the noise.
And the last item is probably the most extravagant technologically. It's an acoustic. It's got batteries in it. It's an acoustic toy. There's a snake in the basket. There's batteries in here. There's a switch which I'll turn on, but nothing happens. Well, actually, there's a microphone down there, just beside the snake's hood. And this is one of these very strange type of acoustic switches, which isn't the usual clap your hands and something happens. You have to have a sustained sound, and then it'll drive upwards. And in the absence of sound, it drives down. So if I hiss at the microphone, up she comes.
Seems
They
like a lot
softly
of effort
provide
there.
a little flute, so you can really become a
That's a
snake
recorder.
charmer. I can't play the flute myself, so I'm going to make an awful noise, but I'll make some sort of noise. That's all you need to make is just a noise. Here we go. That's about as high as he goes. He waves at the end, and then you have to let him go back down in the basket. But every time up he comes again. Bit noisy, the flute, because I don't play very well. Ooh, I think he's gone to sleep. Huh. Have you?
Like I said, these videos are probably really boring for people who don't really care about much about like old toys. No, I personally do. And I really like his presentation. I find it really interesting.